Alright guys, we are outside in the garden and I am using my soil tester. I've got it selected to the pH setting. I want to test what the pH is in this compost. This is compost that I was getting for free from my local county compost site, and I just want to test and see what the pH is in here. So we're gonna stick this down in there, and looks like it's between a 7 and an 8 on the pH level, which is pretty awesome. You can check the light. You can measure the light if you switch it over to light. You can see the dial moved way over here. So that's good. Fertility, I don't exactly know what the fertility measurement is on that, but it's telling me that it's too little. So I'll have to read the instructions on this. I just opened it up and stuck it in the dirt, so. But my pH level is good. And with the added rabbit manure that I will be adding to the beds, it should be okay as far as fertility is concerned. But I'll read the directions further and see what that says about that. So I'm going to come over here to the bed that I put together at the end of last season, and I'm going to test the pH in here. Now I threw some water on here because the directions do say to make sure that the spot that you're going to test is thoroughly wet. So I've got it on the pH setting, and I'm just going to stick it in there if I can get past all the leaves. And we're going to see pH is right at about 7. So that's good. Perfect. All right, so what else are we doing? We are gonna get some more peas planted. I also got some more spinach, and I also have some zinnias and some wildflower mix that I plan to put in my pollinator bed. So yep, let's get these peas going. So this right here was another area that I had prepared towards the end of the season after I had took all the peppers and things out. This was like an empty area. Look at the worms. They are very much alive in there. Very much alive. Very good sign. It's a good sign when you have worms in your garden. That means they have something to eat, which means that you have organic matter in your soil. So I'm gonna brush back most of these leaves, plant some peas, and then I'll cover them back up. outside, boy? Yeah? So, I got my dibber that I got from Best Yet Journey. Basically, this just makes your hole. It's got a measuring inches and centimeters. I'm going to go an inch, maybe inch and a half for the peas. So these particular peas say planting depth of 1 inch, seed spacing of 2 inches, row spacing 4 to 6 inches. So 2 inches apart on the seeds and 4 inches apart on the rows. All right, let's see what we got. I don't know if you guys can see it because the soil is so black. I think you can see them. So I got this hole. Let's zoom in a little bit. All right. So I got one here. And then I got one here. So this is the 2 inches apart. And then over here I've got the next row. So, sorry guys, I'm using my new camera, so I'm still learning it. So from here to here is my 4 inches. And from here to here is my 2 inches. So I'm going across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 7. So I should have 14 peas planted here. All right. So I don't think you guys can see them, but those peas are in there. They're pink, so you can see that one. So I got them in there. I'm gonna just cover them up lightly with these leaves, and I'll have my peas planted. So I went ahead and covered those up lightly with the leaves. I did mark the rows so that I know where I planted and how far down I planted. So then I moved away this section here of leaves, and I'm gonna go ahead and plant some spinach here. Now spinach is different. It's very little, and it doesn't have to be planted as deep. This is 3 inches apart. So if you want like a big spinach plant, which I think I might like this year. I usually plant these intensively, but I think this year I might try planting them as plants. I'm gonna go ahead and plant them 3 inches apart like it says, and we'll see how that comes out. So I'm gonna take my dibber, and basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a can't even remember what they call them now. Furrow? A furrow. There's a red wiggler. Hey guy. Sorry to disturb you. So I'm just gonna take this all the way across, and I'm gonna make some rows, and then I'm gonna plant it like that. All right, so if you can see, I got 1, 2, 3 rows, and I'm going to do it 3 inches apart all the way down. So I got them in there. I don't think you can see them quite that well, but they're in there. So I got 3 rows. all the way down about to the same place that I ended with the peas. And that's it. I'm going to lightly cover them up and put the leaves back on. Those are my blue jays. So this area here, in between the two beds, I plan to put flowers. So I'm going to sprinkle that package of wildflowers, a little bit, not the whole thing, a little bit of wildflower and a little bit of zinnia in that little space there. So it is definitely hot in here. The temperature has gone down just a little bit. I didn't make it over here in time to open it up right away, but I have to prune these raspberries and things, bushes, raspberries and bushes and whatever, because late winter is the time that you want to prune your bushes and your trees and your shrubs before they get their new growth. That way the plant can focus on new growth. So trim off everything and let it produce new growth. That's the idea. So this is my first rodeo with fruit bushes and whatnot, so I'm not a pro at this. I just read and researched and got some advice from some other people that this is what I needed to do. So this is what I'm doing. I am pruning so that this plant can concentrate on new growth. So that's what's going on. I hope I'm doing it right. Just pretty much taking off all this dead stuff. All this dead stuff. And then it should produce new growth. Hopefully, I didn't just kill it by pruning it as much as I did. So, we're gonna cut these raspberries. Sounds like an Amazon truck is here. Have a good day. All right, well, there we go. They are all pruned up. That stuff right there is dead. It's just hanging there. So, hopefully I didn't just kill them all. I just really pruned them, like totally pruned them. Cut them all the way back. Because that's what it said to do. It said to totally cut it down for the heritage raspberries anyway. So now I'm gonna go over to my rain barrel and I'm gonna get some water and I'm gonna water some of this stuff like the garlic and the stuff in the greenhouse.